Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow Room, and we are continuing with Ravel. We've got at least 5 or 6 more videos to go in Ravel, which is really amazing considering how little music he wrote. But like I said, everybody's recorded it, and really we're going by the size of the discography, not by the output of the composer in question. So, you ready? I have this stack here. Let me get it. Up there it is. A big pile of Ravel, beginning with, oh, this is fun. Well, let me put this here. I'll have to be careful. I don't want to knock anything over. Okay. The complete orchestral music, plus some, on Chandos with Jean-Pascal Tortelier and the Ulster Orchestra. Now, when this came out, this was one of those weird things where the independent labels were demonstrating to the rest of us mere mortals that there were a lot of good orchestras out there who could do just about anything, and do it as well as some of the majors. And this was one of those examples. Now, the Ulster Orchestra is not a great orchestra, conventionally speaking. I mean, you can't say section by section that they have the best players, but they play very well. They were extremely well recorded. Tortelier was an authentic French guy, for what that's worth. I mean, there are plenty of authentic French guys whose Ravel was not so hot, but he understood it. And not only that, but there were some things here that made this particular 4-disc set uber complete, including, best of all, this was Tortelier's own orchestration of the trio in A minor, the piano trio, for huge orchestra and a big Ravelian orchestra. And he understood that Ravelian sound. There are times maybe when he's a little extra thick and unnecessary, but still, it was a fun arrangement, and it was a great thing to hear. And the other performances, they're all very solid. They really are. And you got things like Don Quixote à Dulcinea, the songs with Stephen Roberts singing in baritone. Jean-Pascal Tortelier himself played violin in Cigana. Ugh. Someone said every time I mention Cigana, I have to go, ugh. And they asked me, what do I really hate about the piece? I said, well, what I hate about the piece is that it's boring and annoying, and it has this endless solo violin cadenza at the beginning, and then the beautiful orchestra comes in, and then it's over in 2 minutes. I mean, it's just Ravel's worst piece. And you also get Scheherazade, the song cycle with Linda Finney, not the best mezzo-soprano who's ever sung it, but still, it was a very, very complete set. And because the sonics were so good, it was fun to listen to. I mean, Ravel with good sonics is worth hearing for its own sake, even if the performances are not perhaps the best ever, So then we have, this is also surprising, the Ravel complete piano music with Jean-Ephraim Bavouzet. Yes, the Jean-Ephraim Bavouzet, to end all Bavouzets, but it's on M, D, and G. This was before he decamped, I think, to Telarc or Warner or whatever, not Telarc, Teldec, Warner, whatever that label was. And so he was here first. This was recorded in 2003, so 20 and a bit years ago. Okay, really, a couple of decades ago. And we have the complete piano works. Now, Bavouzet is a very, very, very good pianist. So this is fun. I mean, that's really kind of fun to have. Oh, and Bavouzet didn't decamp to Warner. I'm confusing him with Pierre-Laurent Aimard, those hyphenated French names. They all blur together in my mind. No, we were talking about he decamped to Chandos and made wonderful recordings of everything from Haydn to Beethoven to other things. But here he's in his French element, doing very, very well, by the way. It's a very nice set. But we have this wonderful, wonderful set of the complete piano music featuring Abby Simon on Vox. This is a classic set of absolutely superb Ravel playing. It's really a reference version. It always has been. Abby Simon was a pianist's pianist, as I never tire of saying about him. In other words, he was somebody who didn't have the biggest career in terms of, name recognition. And he recorded for Vox, which was a budgie label, and that kind of rubbed off on him. But he was not a budget pianist, not by any stretch of the imagination. These are fantastic performances. So that's good to have. Then we've got, this is the old RCA Gold Seal. Fritz Reiner, the Rhapsody Espagnole, Pavane for a Dead Princess, Vals Noble, Alvarado del Gracioso with Debussy's Iberia, with Reiner in Chicago from 1956-57 in stunning living stereo. Really, really beautiful, pellucidly clear, rhythmically vivacious performances. The Rhapsody Espagnole is particularly powerful there. And Iberia is great too, but it's fun. Also on RCA, Toscanini, good old Toscanini doing Ravel, Daphnis, and Chloe Suite No. 2. Now, this is the piece which, quite famously, he had problems with because the final dance is in 5/4, and he apparently in his elderliness, it tripped him up a little bit. It was one of the things that sort of pushed him into retirement. So, but it's there's nothing wrong with it. It sounds fine here. And you've got Franck and Ducasse, Slam and Sorcerer's Apprentice, Danse Macabre, 3 Berlioz overtures. Well, Berlioz overtures to the Carnival, the Roman Carnival, and the Scherzo from Romeo and Juliet, the Queen Mab Scherzo, the Rakoczy March from the Damnation of Faust, and the Thomas Mignon overture. All of these things, vintage Stokowski, so that's fun to have. And Manuel Rosenthal. More of this set, which is on, I don't know which label it's on this week. It's on Ades. It's also on CD Accord. I mean, we've talked about this before, right? Universal owns these recordings, and they really ought to do a complete Manuel Rosenthal. All the French and other goodies he did, because he was just a marvelous conductor, and he was there for all of it. I mean, he's a real link to the authentic style. The really authentic style, not the fake authentic style that the authentic people are purveying, are trying to sell us. Foolish authentic style. Here we've got Alvarado del Gracioso, the Rhapsody Espagnole, and the complete Mother Goose, and La Valse. Wonderful performances all, for sure. Why do I have this? That's a really good question. The Slovak the CSR Symphony Orchestra, Czech State Radio Symphony Orchestra, Bratislava, under Kenneth Jean, where we've got, Mother Goose Suite, the 5 pieces, just the 5 pieces, the Vals Noble and Daphnis and Chloe Suite No. 1. I think I have this because it has Suite No. 1. And I've saved all these Naxos things because Naxos gives me permission to use sound samples. So if I have to do a talk about the music as opposed to about the specific performance, I can use these. And they're really handy to keep around, at least for that reason. Oh, a beautiful disc. Oh, this is lovely. Schlomo Mince and Yefim Bronfman, when they were back on DG. Well, Mince always was. Bronfman, remember, wound up on Sony. But here he is on Deutsche Grammophon back in 1986. Yes, the dawn of time, doing the Franck Violin Sonata, the Debussy, and Ravel sonatas, which is why I put it under Ravel. You got to pick a composer and go somewhere. So that's what I did. And that is very nice to see. And what's this? Oh, yes, again. Oh, these are miscellaneous chamber hoogies for the rest of this talk. Well, that's nice. The Poulenc Violin Sonata, the Ravel posthumous Violin Sonata from 1897. It's very early. It's not really posthumous. It's presthumous because it was a youth piece, but it was only dug up after he died. And we've got his sonata, and then the Cigana, for piano, the piano version, which is even worse than the orchestral version, and the Berceuse sur le nom de Forêt, and then the Debussy Sonata with Cho Lang Lin and Paul Crossley on Sony. Gosh, remember when labels were doing things like this? This was 1994. When the record labels were actually recording all kinds of interesting repertoire with wonderful artists and not caring at all if they could sell any, which most of the time they couldn't and didn't. And then we've got the string quartet with the Debussy. This is one of the great ones, my friends, the Gallimir Quartet on Vanguard. An absolutely splendid performance, which is dated from MCML XXXXII. So that's 19... MCM, yeah, that's 1950, 60, 70, 82. There. In Roman numerals. and it's absolutely first class. Probably very few people got that one when it came out. I was lucky. And the Juilliard, Debussy, Ravel, and Due to You, wonderful coupling and amazing playing, and another terrific disc. So, you see, we've got so much of this. We're just spoiled for riches, or whatever they say. So keep on listening, friends. Go get your Ravel. We're going to be doing some more. Take care.